Chosen one, lock your eyes on this screen and do not move. That restless feeling in your spirit right now, the one that told you to stop scrolling and pay attention, that was not you. That was a command. This video is going private soon. Not because the message is finished, because the message was never meant for everyone. It was meant for one person. And the fact that you are watching it right now, in this moment, before it disappears, that is not a coincidence. That is precision. The last 72 hours have carried a particular weight that you cannot explain to anyone around you. The atmosphere has been different, not loud, not chaotic, just heavy, dense, like something is pressing down on the air itself. Maybe you have been moving through your days this week feeling like you are carrying something invisible, like everyone around you is operating at normal speed and you are walking through water. Or maybe you found yourself sitting alone at some point in the last few days, maybe late at night when everything went quiet and a thought surfaced that you did not invite. A thought that said, what if you have already missed it? What if the window closed and you did not notice? You feel like you are between two worlds, the one that was and the one that was promised, and the silence between them has started to feel less like a pause and more like an answer you do not want to receive. And in that silence, the enemy has been working with a very specific script. He has not been yelling. He has been whispering, quietly, strategically. And the lie he has been whispering is this, that you are watching this video because you are desperate. That the reason you keep seeking, keep listening, keep looking for confirmation is because somewhere along the way, you made a mistake that set everything back. He has been pointing to a moment. Maybe the moment you went quiet when you should have spoken. Maybe the moment you stepped back from something you were building. Maybe the moment you let someone go, or let something go, or let yourself go just long enough to lose the momentum. And he has been filing that moment as evidence. Evidence that you are the reason for the delay. Evidence that your blessing has been rerouted because of your failure. But I need you to hear what the Word of God actually says about that accusation. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good, to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose." All things, not the comfortable things, not the victories, all things. That moment the enemy is using as evidence against you, God already filed it as a weapon for you. The thing you thought disqualified you was the thing that qualified the next chapter. Heaven does not waste the hard moments, it weaponizes them. You are not behind, you are being positioned. The heaviness you have been carrying this week is not the weight of failure, it is the weight of arrival. It is the atmospheric pressure that exists in the moments directly before something shifts. You have felt it before. You know what this feeling precedes, and the enemy knows it too, which is why the whispers have gotten louder, not because he is winning, but because he is running out of time. You did not stumble onto this video. The algorithm did not surface it. God placed it in your path today, in this specific hour, before it goes private, because there is a word inside this message that was written for your exact situation before you were even in it. This is a divine appointment, and you are not early, you are exactly on time. Stay until the very last second, because in the next few minutes, I am going to hand you the spiritual verdict that silences the accusation the enemy has been building against your name. I am going to walk you through the exact moment this week where you thought you lost ground but actually advanced your position. And at the end, I am going to give you a declaration that seals this season shut so it cannot reopen. Do not leave. Your future self did not survive everything you have been through this week just for you to click away before the verdict is read. You have two choices right now. Close this video and hope the next one gives you what this one just did. Or act on what God just confirmed in your spirit. And make sure tomorrow morning is the first morning in months, maybe years, where you actually feel him close again. Not distant, not silent, close, present, speaking directly to you. That is what the inner sanctum was created for, and the link is in the first pinned comment. The window is open, but chosen ones who hesitate have seen windows close before. You know exactly what I am talking about. You were chosen before you chose anything, before you typed a single search, before the algorithm suggested a single video, before your thumb stopped scrolling something older than the internet, older than your name, older than your first memory, already had its hand on your shoulder pointing you here. That's not poetry. That's architecture. Divine architecture. And I want you to get your free copy of the Body Transformation Blueprint. The link is in the description, because what's inside that guide isn't just information about your body. It's a map for someone who was always meant to build something extraordinary. Grab it now, and then stay with me, because what we're about to walk through together is the reason you needed to be here first. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening beneath the surface of your life. This isn't merely an exploration of habits or routines, but a deep excavation into the very soil of your being, the unseen currents that shape your observable reality. We're not just peeling back layers. We're descending into the foundational chambers of your existence, seeking the subtle architects of your present experience and the profound wellspring of your future. It's an invitation to understand the invisible forces at play, the spiritual laws that dictate the physical outcomes, and the profound wisdom etched into the very fabric of your journey. There is a version of you that has been waiting longer than you know. This is not a passive, slumbering waiting, but an active, potent dormancy, akin to the way a magnificent seed, imbued with the full potential of a towering oak, waits underground, gathering nutrients, strengthening its root system, and preparing for the perfect moment of emergence. Or consider the immense pressure that waits inside the earth, steadily, relentlessly transforming carbon into an unyielding, brilliant diamond. This version of you is not merely a future possibility, it is a present reality, held in divine anticipation, rich with capacities yet untapped, adorned with strengths yet unrevealed. The reason most people never meet this powerful, essential version of themselves isn't because they didn't exert enough brute force, didn't pray with enough fervent desperation, or didn't desire change with sufficient intensity. The true reason is far more subtle, more intricately hidden within the delicate tapestry of their internal landscape, and profoundly more personal than any external effort could address. They never precisely named, articulated, or brought into the light of conscious awareness what was truly, fundamentally holding them captive. Instead, they diligently, perhaps even exhaustively, treated the visible symptoms, the struggles with consistency, the fleeting bursts of motivation, the cycle of starting and stopping. Yet, all the while, the true root, the unseen anchor of their stagnation, remained deeply buried, untouched, silently performing its inherent function, feeding everything that grew above it, including those insidious patterns, limiting beliefs, and self-defeating behaviors that should never have taken root in the first place, drawing sustenance from the very ground of their being. It is like trying to prune a dying tree by clipping a few yellowed leaves, while the disease within the roots continues to spread, unaddressed and unchecked. Think about Gideon, a man whose story is a profound illustration of this divine paradox. Here was a man literally hiding from his perceived enemies, the Midianites, in the most humble and unlikely of places, a winepress. He was threshing wheat in secret, a task normally done in the open, trembling with fear at the very thought of those who oppressed his people. In this state of profound self-doubt and overwhelming anxiety, the angel of the Lord appeared to him. And what was the divine salutation? Not a gentle encouragement, not a hopeful prophecy, but a thunderous, unwavering declaration. The Lord is with you. Mighty warrior, not a might-be warrior, a future possibility contingent on some arduous self-improvement journey. Not a potential warrior, a hopeful title for someone who merely possesses the raw ingredients. No, it was mighty warrior, present tense, a declared identity. This profound pronouncement was made while Gideon was still unequivocally hiding, still consumed by fear, still utterly convinced of his own inadequacy. This is the profound truth that often goes untold about divine calling, about the very nature of heaven's intention for us. Heaven speaks to who you inherently are in the divine design, to your preordained identity, long before you have gathered the courage, the conviction, or the self-belief to accept it, let alone manifest it yourself. And the vast, often agonizing chasm between what the Most High has already declared over you, your true, unblemished, mighty identity, and what you have, in your humanity and brokenness, chosen to accept as your reality, is precisely where the delay in your manifestation lives. It is within this echo chamber of unaccepted truth that dreams wither, potential stagnates, and the extraordinary version of yourself remains just beyond your grasp. You've been living in that gap, that space between divine declaration and human acceptance. And it's crucial to understand, you haven't been failing in that gap. You've been undergoing an intensive, often painful, process of formation. It's like the raw clay on the potter's wheel, subjected to pressure, shaping, and even periods of quiet waiting, not because it is inadequate, but because it is destined to become a masterpiece. This formation is the silent work of the Spirit, preparing you, strengthening your inner architecture, even when you perceive only stagnation. It is the refining fire that burns away impurities, the chisel strokes that remove excess material, all in preparation for the revelation of the true form beneath. But here's where this understanding goes even deeper, touching a nerve that often remains unexposed, for it's not merely about the passive act of believing what God has already declared about you. It delves into the far more active, yet often unconscious, realm of recognizing and dismantling the agreement you've inadvertently made with the very opposite of that divine truth. Somewhere along your journey, a pivotal moment occurred. Perhaps it was a resonant voice of criticism that echoed in your ears, a profound loss that left an indelible mark on your spirit, or a heart-wrenching moment where you reached out for something vital, be it love, opportunity, or acceptance, and it didn't reach back. In that raw, impressionable moment, you unwittingly made an agreement. It wasn't a signed contract with legal clauses, nor was it a conscious, deliberate choice weighed against alternatives. It was a subtle, almost imperceptible capitulation, an agreement much like the way you passively consent to cold weather when you simply cease to wear a coat or to expect warmth from the sun. You simply stopped expecting warmth, stopped expecting ease, stopped expecting joy, stopped expecting wholeness for yourself. And now, this insidious agreement, woven into the fabric of your perception, has been so long-standing, so deeply ingrained, that it no longer registers as a lie. Instead, it masquerades as wisdom, a pragmatic understanding of the world. It feels like being realistic, an honest assessment of your limitations. It feels, most insidiously, like a protective shield, safeguarding your tender heart from the inevitable sting of disappointment. But here is the profound spiritual truth. Any protection that serves to keep the good out, that erects a barrier against the very blessings and transformations intended for you, is merely another word for a self-imposed prison, a gilded cage of your own making. No matter how logical or self-preserving it may initially seem, it is a fortress built not to keep dangers out, but to keep your true self in, away from the freedom and expansion it was always destined to experience. And what's coming in just a moment, the subtle, often invisible, pattern beneath that deeply ingrained agreement is the part that will likely stop you in your tracks, demanding your full attention and courage. Stay with me, for this revelation holds the key to unlocking your future, because once you have the courage and clarity to name the lie, to identify that insidious, long-standing agreement, you then simultaneously discover the pervasive, often unconscious, pattern that the lie meticulously created. Every single agreement you make, even implicitly, with a false identity, with a limiting belief about who you are or what you're capable of, immediately becomes a quiet, yet incredibly powerful blueprint. And that hidden blueprint, like an unseen architectural plan, silently and relentlessly governs nearly everything in your life. It dictates the kind of relationships you believe you deserve and therefore accept, the vibrant opportunities that cross your path but which you inexplicably walk past without a second glance, the specific version of your health and your body that you've subtly decided is simply for other people, not for you. You begin to internalize the belief that profound transformation, especially in areas like physical vitality and well-being, belongs exclusively to someone else. Someone graced with inherently better genetics, someone born into more fortunate circumstances, someone who received a significant head start in life. And so, you fall into a pattern of observation rather than participation. You watch others embark on their journeys, you admire their progress, you even offer encouragement. You might even almost sign up for that class, almost commit to that meal plan, almost show up for yourself. But almost is arguably the most dangerous, most soul-sapping place to live, because almost is precisely close enough to feel perpetually engaged, to feel like you're part of the process, to soothe the conscience with the illusion of effort, yet it remains profoundly far enough away to ensure you never actually arrive at the desired destination. It is the tantalizing edge of the precipice, where you can see the promised land but never set foot upon its fertile ground, perpetually caught in the shadow of what could have been. Consider the profound wisdom of the Apostle Paul, who wrote from the bleak confines of a Roman prison cell, not about a desperate plea for escape, but about a peace that utterly surpasses all human understanding. And crucially, he spoke of this peace not as a future hope, not as a reward to be granted after his release from prison, nor peace that would only manifest once his dire circumstances miraculously changed. He spoke of peace in the cell, peace in the midst of chains and uncertainty, peace existing concurrently with profound external hardship. This powerful testament reveals a core spiritual truth. The breakthrough, the authentic transformation you yearn for, was never actually waiting for the external situation to miraculously shift, for the perfect alignment of circumstances. Instead, it has always been waiting for the internal architecture of your being to be courageously rebuilt, stone by spiritual stone, foundation by foundational belief. Your body, your health, your long-awaited transformation. None of it is actually waiting on the right moment to magically appear. It is profoundly, unequivocally waiting on the right agreement to be made within your heart and mind. And right now, in this very moment, with this revelation illuminating your path, you are being invited, with divine urgency, to make a completely different agreement. An agreement aligned with your true, declared identity. An agreement that recognizes the sacred potential already residing within you. An agreement that says, yes, I am worthy of this unfolding. This profound truth brings us directly to something that most people, even those on a spiritual path, miss entirely in their pursuit of wholeness. The body, often relegated to a mere physical vessel or a machine to be optimized, is fundamentally not separate from the spirit. It is an intricate, interwoven extension of your spiritual essence, a living, breathing testament to your inner world. What happens, or fails to happen, in the visible, tangible realm of the physical body is always, without exception, a direct, undeniable reflection of what has been quietly, yet powerfully, unfolding in the invisible, ethereal chambers of the spirit and soul. When you have been living in a state of spiritual lethargy, that pervasive, low hum of not yet, the perpetual postponement of maybe someday, the comforting but deceptive promise of I'll start Monday, your physical body, with its innate wisdom and deep connection to your inner state, learns and internalizes that languid, procrastinating language too. It stops expecting activation, ceases to anticipate vibrant movement, and settles into its own form of dormancy. Your very cells, the fundamental building blocks of your physical form, follow the atmosphere of your spirit, mirroring its intentions and its limitations. Biology, that marvel of intricate design, literally bends to the prevailing belief system you hold within. This is not some abstract mysticism, some esoteric philosophy. This is the fundamental, elegant design of the Most High, the Creator who engineered a system of profound interconnectedness. You were built as a magnificent, integrated whole, spirit, soul, and body, woven together so tightly, so inextricably, that neglecting one aspect is, by divine decree, to neglect all three. They are a tripartite symphony, each instrument vital to the overall harmony. Therefore, when you begin to intentionally move your body with purpose, with conscious discipline, with the profound understanding that this very flesh you inhabit, this vessel you walk around in, is not merely a collection of organs but sacred ground, something far more profound, something deeper than muscle, something older than ingrained habit, begins to shift within your entire being. It's a reawakening, a recalibration, a declaration that resonates through every fiber of your existence. And this leads us, unflinchingly, to the real turning point, the uncomfortable truth that almost no one is truly willing to look at directly, to confront with unvarnished honesty. You have likely, and perhaps unknowingly, been praying for discipline, when what you have always fundamentally, truly needed was a robust, unshakable sense of identity. These are not merely different prayers. They emanate from entirely different spiritual postures and yield dramatically divergent results. Discipline that is fueled by the gnawing fear of failure, by the desperate desire to avoid imagined negative consequences, or by external pressure, is inherently fragile. It collapses under the slightest weight of pressure, crumbles at the first whisper of resistance, and fades with the receding tide of initial motivation. It is a house built on sand, vulnerable to every storm. However, discipline that arises from an unshakable knowing of who you are, and deep-seated understanding of your inherent, divinely declared identity, that kind of discipline is an entirely different force. It stems from the profound recognition that your body is not an accidental biological construct, but a sacred assignment, a divine trust placed in your care. It understands that how you steward this precious life, how you care for this physical vessel, is not merely a matter of health metrics, but a profound act of worship, a living offering to the one who breathed life into you. Every morning you choose to rise, to intentionally move, to mindfully nourish this sacred vessel, is not merely a routine. It is a powerful declaration, a solemn vow that you believe you are worthy of showing up for, worthy of investment, worthy of honoring. That kind of discipline doesn't break under duress. It deepens. It transmutes from mere routine into unwavering devotion. And that kind of devotion, rooted in identity and love, outlasts every fleeting motivational speech, every well-meaning accountability partner, every inspiring before and after photo you've ever scrolled past at 11 o'clock on a lonely Tuesday night. It is an internal, self-sustaining flame, fueled by truth, not by fleeting emotion. But if you are willing to be truly, unflinchingly honest with yourself, and this, perhaps, is the part that demands the most profound courage, you must ask yourself a deeply penetrating question. Have you been treating your body like something that is fundamentally broken? Something you are constantly trying to fix, to mend, to force into an acceptable shape? Or have you been approaching it, in every conscious and unconscious act, as something sacred, something you are being profoundly invited to honor, to cherish, to nurture into its divine design? Because this fundamental posture, this underlying attitude, changes absolutely everything about your journey and its outcome. One posture, that of fixing, is intrinsically shame-driven, born from a place of inadequacy, guilt, and self-rejection. It is a tireless pursuit driven by a perceived deficit, perpetually running away from what you desperately do not want to be, haunted by past failures and future anxieties. It views the body as a problem to be solved, a project to be completed, an adversary to be conquered. The other posture, that of honoring, is inherently glory-driven, born from a place of divine affirmation, gratitude, and reverence. It is a joyful, intentional movement toward what you were always exquisitely created to become, empowered by an understanding of your intrinsic worth. It views the body as a temple, a sacred trust, a vessel for divine expression. And here is the unassailable truth. The Most High, in His infinite wisdom and boundless love, never designed true, lasting transformation to be fueled by self-contempt, by the corrosive acid of self-hatred, or by the whip of relentless shame. He designed it, from the very beginning, to be fueled by the purest, most expansive force in the universe. Love, first, an unwavering love for the God who magnificently made you in His image, and then a deep, abiding, and compassionate love for the precious person He so intricately crafted and continues to uphold. Stay with me, because what's coming next is a layer beneath even that, a subtle but profound insight that holds the undeniable power to break the cycle for good, to sever the invisible chains that have held you captive. There's a subtle, insidious habit that has been tirelessly feeding your delay, an unseen force perpetuating the very stagnation you yearn to escape. It's not a visible habit that you can easily track on a calendar or an app. It's not something as straightforward as a missed nutrition target or a disrupted sleep schedule. No, this is a hidden habit of the heart, a deeply ingrained pattern of your internal landscape. It is the habit of endlessly rehearsing the story of what didn't work, of meticulously reliving past disappointments. Every single time you replay, in the theater of your mind, the narrative of the gym membership you abandoned, the diet plan you couldn't sustain beyond the first week, the ambitious transformation you enthusiastically started only to prematurely stop. You are not merely remembering the past, you are, in a profound and spiritual sense, actively voting for it. You are casting your most potent faculty, your imagination, as a ballot for your future, and with each replay, you keep electing the same predictable, disheartening outcome. This is precisely what the Israelites tragically did in the wilderness. They stood, physically present, at the very edge of the Promised Land, a land flowing with milk and honey, a testament to God's unwavering faithfulness. But instead of lifting their gaze to see the glorious future that lay shimmering before them, instead of embracing the vast, verdant possibilities, they chose, almost compulsively, to narrate what was behind them, the perceived hardships, the scarcity, the giants in the land. They called themselves grasshoppers in comparison to their formidable adversaries, not because they were intrinsically small in the eyes of their Creator, but because they had rehearsed a narrative of smallness, of inadequacy, of victimhood for so long that it had become their native language, their defining self-perception. And as a heartbreaking consequence, an entire generation missed their moment of divine inheritance. Not because God withheld his promise, not because his power was insufficient, but because they simply couldn't stop telling the old, defeatist story long enough to silence the internal critics and step with courage and faith into the breathtaking reality of the new one that was waiting for them. You have to break this cycle. You must stop eulogizing your past failures, granting them an undue power over your present and future. Instead, you must courageously begin to prophesy your future, speaking into existence the vibrant, transformed reality that the Most High has already declared for you. And now here is the profound truth, the unexpected revelation you likely didn't anticipate hearing, the core insight that will reframe everything. The insidious force that has been blocking you, holding you back from the abundant life and the robust health you desire, isn't actually laziness, though you might have chastised yourself for it countless times. It isn't fundamental weakness, though moments of wavering resolve might have convinced you otherwise. It isn't even primarily fear, though fear has undoubtedly served as a potent vehicle, carrying these deeper truths to your conscious mind. What has truly, fundamentally, and often unconsciously been blocking you is a deeply embedded belief that you simply don't deserve to arrive. It is the quiet, persistent whisper that breakthrough, that profound, lasting transformation is exclusively reserved for those exceptional individuals who somehow have it more together than you do, for those who seem inherently more disciplined, more gifted, more deserving. It's the conviction that transformation is a lofty reward, bestowed only upon someone who has already proven themselves unequivocally worthy through endless striving and flawless execution. But this, my friend, is the most inverted, the most upside down, and ultimately the most damaging theology that exists within the human psyche. It directly contradicts the very nature of divine grace and the kingdom principles upon which true transformation operates. The invitation to greatness, the call to radical change, always, without exception, comes before the preparation is complete. Consider the audacious example of Jesus calling his first disciples. He didn't wait for them to finish their fishing haul, to tidy their nets, to prove their spiritual readiness. He called them mid-cast, while their hands were still in the water, still engaged in their ordinary, everyday lives. Heaven never waits for you to feel perfectly ready, perfectly prepared, perfectly deserving. It extends its profound, unconditional call to you, precisely while your hands are still metaphorically, or literally, in the water, in the midst of your perceived mess, your unfinished business, your imperfect present. You are being called mid-cast, right now, in this very instant, called in whatever condition you currently find yourself, called with whatever aspirations you've abandoned along the way, and whatever transformative journeys you haven't yet dared to start. The divine call has already been issued. It resonates through the very core of your being. The only remaining question, the only pivotal choice, is whether you choose to answer it, whether you choose to respond to that ancient, preordained invitation. And this is the final, most profound thing. The capstone insight that reframes and recontextualizes absolutely everything we've walked through together. Your transformation, particularly concerning your physical body and well-being, was never solely or even primarily about the body alone. It was always, from the very beginning, about what the process of transforming the body teaches, refines, and illuminates within the deep recesses of your soul. Every single morning you consciously choose discipline over immediate comfort, every decision to rise and move and nourish when your flesh craves ease. In that very act, you are not merely building physical strength, you are profoundly training your spirit to consistently choose purpose over fleeting pleasure. You are forging an inner resilience, a spiritual muscle memory. Every time you honor the body God so lovingly gave you, treating it as the sacred temple it truly is, You are practicing the essential muscle of covenant faithfulness in the smallest, most intimate details of your daily existence. And the Most High, with His infinite wisdom, always watches with keen attention what you do, how you steward, and how you behave with the small things, the seemingly insignificant choices, before He fully trusts you with the stewardship of the large ones, the grander assignments, and the greater outpouring of His grace. Your body, therefore, is not merely the destination of your efforts. It is far more profound than that. Your body is the altar, the sacred ground upon which you offer your daily devotion, your unwavering intention, your profound gratitude, and what you meticulously build here, in the quiet, often unsexy, unglamorous faithfulness of consistently showing up for yourself. That dedication echoes outwards, reverberating into every single other area of your magnificent life. It profoundly impacts the quality and depth of your relationships. It sharpens your clarity and capacity within your divine calling. It exponentially expands your capacity to hold, to sustain, and to steward everything that heaven is patiently preparing to hand you, everything that is destined to flow into your waiting hands and open heart. This, then, is the ultimate reason why you were chosen to see this message, to receive this profound revelation at this precise moment in your journey. It is not because you are perfect, devoid of flaws or past mistakes. It is not because you have somehow attained an ethereal state of readiness that others lack. No, it is simply because you are ready, right now, in your current state, with all your beautiful imperfections. And it is vital to understand that ready does not mean without fear, without hesitation, or without uncertainty. True readiness, divine readiness, means precisely this: a deep internal willingness to move forward, to take that first courageous step, to respond to the call, even while the fear is still undeniably present, even while the doubts still whisper, even while your knees might still be trembling. It is the courageous act of walking by faith, not by sight or by feeling. Place your hand on your chest right now and speak this profound truth over yourself, letting each word resonate through every cell of your being. I release every agreement I made with smallness. I release the story of what didn't work. I release the habit of rehearsing my failures, and I choose to prophesy my future. I declare that my body is sacred ground, and I will honor it. I declare that my transformation has already begun, not when the conditions are perfect, not when I feel ready, but now, in this moment, with what I have. I am not who my past said I was. I am who heaven declared before I was formed. I am chosen. I am capable. I am exactly where I need to be to become everything I was made for. And I walk forward from this moment in covenant with the person I was always created to become. Now go to the description, get your body transformation blueprint, and take the first physical step that matches the declaration you just made. Leave a comment with one word that describes who you're becoming, and watch what happens when you name it out loud. Because the chosen ones don't just consume revelation, they respond to it.